I heard spike strips set up at the southbound 14 at the 5. Is that an Adam Corolla? Bum, bum, bum. All right, I got to turn down the scanner. It's too much static. Too much static. You got Christmas presents in the back there? Oh. Oh, good. Sandra, that's right. Original want cell phone. Using the cell phone while driving. Don't do that, by the way. It might get you pulled over. The vehicle driving freeway speeds. I'm going to go ahead and bring up that speedometer there in just a moment or two. But California Highway Patrol, they are definitely behind them right now. I'm not going to give away any bag of tricks or anything that might possibly happen here. I've been told in the past, you know, Stu, when you say things like that, that driver might get that information and, you know, might do something evasive, but apparently they are going to try to set up spike strips at the 5 and the 14 in the Newhall Pass. Somehow, I think he might be on his cell phone. If he's on the Fox app, that's fantastic. But me giving that away, I just don't think that's going to change any of the outcome that's happening out here. There you go. You got the speed up right now. California Highway Patrol, they actually were lights and sirens for some time coming down out of the Antelope Valley, out by the Agua Dulce area. And that one unit was asking for additional. They have got quite a few now behind them. And like I said, we're actually going to get another unit ahead of them, and they're going to try to set up some spike strips. Again, though, the original want, like you said, Sandy, I'm speechless. Is for a cell phone, you should just pull over, right? But at any rate, it's continuing on and just doing freeway speeds. It's just very unusual indeed. Thank you. You know, you'd think there's something more, but maybe it is just as advertised. They are talking about that vehicle was just the original want, just the cell phone, and the fact that, you know, I mean, really, truly, if it was just as simple as I want to pull you over, I'm not going to stop just because I'm on the cell phone, that would be unusual indeed. I think this really truly is just as advertised. This is just because of the cell phone want, and we just passed the vehicle that, or the officer with the spike strip, but I think because of the fact that he is in those center lanes, that spike strip might not have been able to be deployed. Some other vehicles there on the roadway as well. We did see that swap go on. We've talked about that in the past as well. California Highway Patrol, just like any other agency, you know, they have divisions or they have areas. So we just see the number one vehicle get swapped out. The speed's still very calm is probably the best way to say it. Traffic extremely light. I would venture to say a lot of the folks on the roadway probably not even sure if this is a procedural pursuit as it's passing them because of those slower speeds. You can actually see right there some other folks probably slowing down because they're hearing the lights and sirens are seeing them and doing that precautionary get over to the right. That's what you need to do. But this vehicle refusing to stop, I don't really know. It's just, he just doesn't want to stop. And I'm saying we're trying to take a look there. We can see through the tint. I don't know for a fact, but that does seem to be a very masculine arm, but we just don't know right now. But at any rate, the pursuit continuing out here. We're coming down. We're starting to get into the Newhall Pass. Soon we're going to be in the San Fernando Valley area. California Highway Patrol, they're taking this very seriously. They want that vehicle to stop. And, of course, like you said, I'm sure they ran the plate. We haven't heard about anything else. And we also haven't heard about where the plate comes back to, Sandy. That's usually one of the things where if they say, oh, it comes back to, an address in in Van Nuys, we could say, well, possibly that's where this vehicle's trying to get to, is the Van Nuys area. But right now, haven't heard any of that. But the pursuit continuing. Now we are in that Newhall Pass. We're going to be making our way south, probably to, where else can we transition to? Definitely going to transition to the 5 freeway. So it's going to be in the San Fernando Valley here in just a moment or two. Actually, technically, we've just entered Granada Hills. Doing something. Definitely a threat for the public. This one is, I never want to say it's low because things could change very, very quickly. That unusual move right there where he kind of went off to the side real quick and then was just, I thought maybe they were setting up possibly for the Balboa off-ramp, but we've passed that. There was another officer there on the side of the road possibly trying to do a spike strip. I'm not really 100%. That was the reason why I zoomed in on it. But you can see there the pursuit continuing, that vehicle not yielding, not stopping. And like we've been saying, the original want, just because he had a cell phone in his hand. That's, basically the officers just want to say, I would venture to say, maybe this guy would have gotten a ticket, maybe not. But like you've been mentioning, this could be something else that maybe we don't know about. Maybe this is an unlicensed driver. Maybe this is a person with warrants, behind the wheel. But as far as the California Highway Patrol, they have not mentioned anything like that. They're basically saying the original want is just a cell phone infraction. But that pursuit continuing, speed staying right about freeway speeds, maybe a mile or two over. But right now, it's very light traffic, 5 freeway, southbound. Are they going to pit them on the freeway? That's kind of a question as well. Probably not at these high speeds. I have actually seen a couple of pursuits where when the freeway was empty, even at 55, they've made an attempt to do that pit maneuver. I don't know if this warrants that because basically, like we've been saying, the original infraction, just that cell phone. But the pursuit continues at freeway speeds, southbound 5, now in the Sylmar area. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. And, you know, these, like you said, I mean, for the most part, I would have taken and I think most reasonable people would have just taken the chance, like, okay, I'm going to get pulled over. Maybe I had my phone in my hand. Definitely transitioning now onto the southbound 405 freeway, kind of losing it there behind the hills, but we'll get a little bit closer. We're not up here by ourselves. But the pursuit continuing, and California Highway Patrol, they are talking about maybe trying to do something else here to try to bring this thing to an end. That one shot, I'm going to wait for just a moment or two, kind of showing you what's going on. Now, you know, I understand we're going freeway speeds out here, and, you know, it's California, Southern California, and I know nobody would be going faster than the speed limit, but in this case, it does seem like the California Highway Patrol, the last vehicle there, actually kind of controlling the amount of other vehicles coming up onto the actual pursuit. You can see a number of cars right there. Traffic starting to build now on that southbound 405 as they are behind this chase. A lot of times when we report something like that, those vehicles are going much faster than freeway speeds, and that's the reason why we don't see any kind of backup like that. But the pursuit continuing on out here. I might have passed it or lost it there. Let me find it real quick. But that chase continuing, in California Highway Patrol, they just want this vehicle to pull over. And as it stands right now, this guy just being I don't want to say jerk, but all he's got to do is pull over. But keeping those freeway speeds, it's just really unusual. It's like, again, when have we had a chase where we said, no, this all makes sense. We understand totally what's going on. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and it probably doesn't make sense to those officers either. It's like you're going the speed limit, maybe even a little less than, as we're transitioning now still on the southbound 405, but that's 118 traffic now that's blending into it, and of course they're going to slow down because they hear the lights and sirens, but basically a rolling roadblock is occurring out here as this vehicle is going to be doing freeway speeds as we're making our way southbound on the 405 freeway, now getting into the Van Nuys, well, North Hills, the next one will be Van Nuys area, but again, it's getting a little bit more traffic out there. California Highway Patrol likes it a little bit better when it's just them and the suspect, but how they're going to bring it to an end, we're going to have to wait and see. Yeah. Nope. Looks like we're getting off the freeway, Dylan. We're definitely getting off the freeway. We're going to lose them. No. He's, yeah, we're just, we're just getting stuck in traffic. I'm looking out the window. I believe that, yeah, definitely going to be the Nordhoff off-ramp. Always a little slow and go right there, depending upon which way he makes a turn. If he heads towards us, that would be the eastbound way. But you can see those officers. Doors are already open. They're ready to pounce. They're taunt like tigers. If they see that opportunity, they might be able to. Maybe even, we haven't seen something like that in the past, but they might actually even try to block this guy in, as they are saying that it was just that. Look at that, getting out of the car. But you know, as soon as this person has that opportunity, he's going to start going. And maybe not. There he goes. He's on the roll again. You know, the thing is getting off the freeway right here. You mentioned that, Sandy, is just the fact that if they California Highway Patrol, not the ones to kind of just walk away from a pursuit. We've seen the Sheriff's Department, we've seen the LAPD, where it gets too risky, gets too much of a problem, and they will definitely basically just back off, as it would be. Taking a peek here through some trees right there, I'm not sure what the what the issue is right now, but definitely waiting for that vehicle to get a green light, and we'll see which way they're going to go. But California Highway Patrol, they don't back off unless they get off the freeway and they're out of their jurisdiction. Now, is the LAPD going to pick this thing up? That one is a good question. I would venture to say no. Just because of the infraction, unless they have some other information about what's going on. Making our way westbound here on Nordhoff as we're getting over by Monroe High School. I'm just wondering, it's 1 o'clock, so it's still too early, so we don't have the kids out there. Traffic in this area gets packed right around the 3 o'clock hour, but right now, just moving along very slowly. We're making our way westbound there on Nordhoff, and again, it seems like obeying all the traffic laws. The only thing is a failure to yield. The big one is the traffic is that he is not pulling over. He's not stopping. Are they going to use the pit maneuver? You know what? I wonder. That one might be, hey, let's weigh this out. Are we going to pit this guy because, you know, it is just an infraction for the cell phone? But right now, continuing on very slowly, making our way towards Van Nuys Airport, and I have a feeling, I was just going to talk to Dylan about that, I have a feeling that one of the reasons why we're staying here and letting this vehicle go away from us is we're waiting for aircraft or the ability to pass the airport, waiting for aircraft to land. So we're going to play this end-of-lens game until Van Nuys Airport clears us. But you can see it right there, very slow moving, and just driving over some new pavement out there. That seems to be the popular thing out here in the valley. A lot of street closures due to that. But at any rate, stopped again. This would be an opportunity for law enforcement maybe to get in front of him, maybe to block him in, maybe try to bring this thing to an end. Nope. Yep, definitely. And you know what's interesting too, it's like this is so LA right here. This is actually so the valley, is you can see a lot of these vehicles, they just don't even want to deal with it. They're like, you know, okay, we'll just go through the parking lot, let's get around this. This might be here for a minute or two. I know this light is long because this is an area where I grew up, but this seems to be a lot longer. There you go, windows open, and it seems like the keys are being dramatically dropped out the window. Dangled, there they go, they're onto the ground. Hopefully we're going to see that driver step out here in just a moment or two, and we will find out if it is a male or a female driver. But right now the light turning green finally, but that car definitely not going to be going anywhere. A lot of curiosity in the area. I do see a lot of folks kind of coming around the corner, looking out, what's going on, probably hearing the helicopters and the sirens. But the fact that the keys are out, that doesn't mean that that driver's out. This could turn into something entirely different out here. California Highway Patrol, they are following it by the book, by the letter. And you were mentioning, too, about the how they handle things like this, but it is protocol. They do not go ahead and get in front of this person or create a situation where they put officers or the suspect into a dangerous situation. Door definitely open, Sandy, and the dramatics. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen next? Yep. 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 Seems very nonchalant about it, like, oh, come on. Really? That seems to be the attitude, the body language. But the officers from California Highway Patrol, they take this very, very seriously. We watch it, we kind of giggle, we laugh sometimes, we always wonder what is going on. But for the officers, the law enforcement involved, this is extremely serious. And like you said, Sandy, in a heartbeat, this could change. You know, maybe this is just an act. I don't think so in this case, but a lot of times that is something that officers have to think about. And I know you did that VR stuff with the weapons out. You know, those officers, they're holding lethal weapons, and you know, a quick move, something could change very, very quickly. Hopefully, I know in this case it will not happen, but it is a very dangerous situation for the officers and, of course, that suspect until those cuffs are on and that person is technically in custody. And, of course, they're going to have to clear that vehicle. Again, this all coming to an end at the corner of Woodley and Nordhoff, near one of my favorite Starbucks, giving them a shout-out. I'm sure somebody's watching down there, but definitely coming to an end and dramatic, even though very slow going, all this overuse of a cell phone in a vehicle. Bum, 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 bum. I know we're still on the net. I wonder if that's dirty laundry in there. There's always some dirty laundry. But definitely this thing coming to an end. Guys and gals, if you're on the internet watching this stuff, it's just like, wow, what was that all about? I'm sure some of the comments are going to be in line with some of the thoughts that I have that I won't even mention on the internet. But wow, talking about dramatic. Coming to an end there. Driver in custody, and life getting back to normal out here in the North Hills area. Should have done a sweet divots. Look at that. Yeah, whatever. I'm just here for the donuts. Look at that. This is North Hills life, folks. This is North Hills life. You got police activity all over the place, but I got places to be, and I'm going to make my way around you. Some of these folks making a bad decision. Now, only thing you're going to be able to do now is make a U-turn and make a block. But yeah, definitely coming to an end out here. I'm going to find out from my adults. That would be the assignment desk, what we want to do. Or maybe we want to wait for that suspect to officially be in the car before we call this done and done. I'm checking out the T-shirt. Definitely. I want to see that T-shirt. I want to know what that T-shirt is because I want to get one. I want that T-shirt. We're not gonna be able to see it again. What did you think it was? I think it's something a little fancy because it has the tag on the shoulder. Oh, California Highway Patrol already got in the car. They moved it out of the way. I don't know where they went with it. Should have been paying attention, not wondering about the P-shirt. Why don't you do your job, Stu? Yeah. Why don't you calm down? Relax. What a relaxing Friday. I hope Lisa enjoyed it. This is a great shop, though, by the way. If anybody has some really cool older vehicles, they specialize in hot rods, and they always have the coolest stuff out there. They have some, their customers are pretty freaking awesome, and I would venture to say the work there is good, too, because, like I said, it's always busy. What's that? What's that? I don't know. I can't see if there's a marker light, and I can't see if there's a wing window. It's either, it could be a 67, it could be a 68. If it has a marker light behind the wing, that would be a 68. No suicide doors. All right, Simon Desk, not that I'm so super eager to get back to Van Nuys because it is literally a stone throw away, but the suspect in custody, the vehicle has been moved. I'm just checking in. Yes. Copy all. Dylan, sir, we are clear to RTB. I got no numbers. I got no nothing, man. I don't have any comments. All right, everybody, if you want to ride with us, you're more than welcome. It's going to be a long, arduous flight back to Van Nuys. Let's see if we can find cool things to look at along the way.